So the next topic we'll go to is ensuring security and compliancy to protect your corporate assets. So this is huge, and this is probably only going to get bigger after this whole pandemic ends. Give them the tools that is standard, so they aren't choosing their own. So standardize everything. So you and your management team and your executive team, you're going to want to sit down and actually figure out what tool sets do your employees require to get every task completed and get it completed within a compliant manner. So pick those tools and deploy them so they're not out there trying to find their own tools, and then you have an IT team that's managing 5 different software sets opposed to 1 or 2. If you give them these tools, they will use them rather than trying to procure their own. So just like I said, they're not going to go out and find some obscure tool set that might be malicious and do other stuff on your network. So employees procuring their own software and tools could result in downloading something that may compromise your business. So like a browser add-on or an actual virus or a piece of malware that jumps on the server, sits there, and then does some damage when everyone's gone. So we're going to jump to video conferencing now. Use an enterprise version with single sign-on. So this is, you log in once and then you can click on an application and it automatically logs you in because you signed on already through another mechanism, whatever that is. It could be your browser, could be your Outlook, and so on. And make sure it has video ability. HD video is pretty standard nowadays, but you want to make sure that it has really good video ability and compression, so you're not constantly freezing when you're on a video chat with a bunch of people and your managers and all that stuff. Ability to download videos to your own cloud, not hosted on theirs. That way you can pull your video if you're recording a webinar, you want to make sure your webinar video file is on your system, so that's your version of cloud, OneDrive, and not on a separate, like a third-party application holding your video, like a Loom or a Zoom even, or something like that. So make sure you can actually pull that video down and download it and keep it and preserve it yourself. And also make sure that there's a video software out there that allows you to restrict users. So if you have a large gathering of people on a video, you want to be able to mute some people that might have background noise that they're not aware of and stuff like that, or actually kick someone out of a conference who might not belong there and they got in somehow. So and then you want to make sure that you're using a system like Teams that provides a host of privacy. So Teams is huge on privacy. Zoom, there's been a couple articles that have come out that Zoom is questionable on certain privacy standpoints, but I'm sure they will get better throughout all this. I think they launched and didn't realize how big they would get so fast. There's a new thing called Zoom bombing, so that we're going to kind of touch on Zoom a little more, where cyber criminals are joining your call and then they take over your video conference. So if you have a free version, it's easier to Zoom bomb. If you have an enterprise owned, it's very difficult to do a Zoom bomb, but it is possible. But the reason why it's more difficult is because when you pay for it, you get upgraded security and probably a feature set, custom backgrounds, all that fun stuff. But really, most of what you're paying for in that is a security set, and it basically it just encrypts all of the data transmission of the video and audio going across, and it makes it there's probably let's imagine a fortress around this Zoom meeting that is encrypted and secured. Once you get through that fortress, then you can join the call. So it just adds an extra hoop to jump through for the hacker, and it's a difficult hoop. It's not just a simple hurdle. It's usually a more difficult one. A third party usually cannot gain access themselves if you use a enterprise version. If you use a free one, it can be open to anyone who finds the link or whatever. They can just join it. So same enterprise single sign-on makes internal meetings easier, and everyone gets authenticated, meaning so if you log into your Outlook on your workstation and you click on a Zoom meeting or whatever, it'll automatically log you in because it's going to use your Outlook credentials as a token. It's not going to actually write your password to this application. So there's no transfer passwords. It's kind of like a token handoff. So you'll know the parties on the line, and it's easier for everyone. So you know who's who by their name, and it might do an Active Directory lookup or whatever. But you know who's who, and you might even be able to go as far as like having actual titles listed on each person that's in there for new employees who might be joining their first call with new teammates or something. So pro tip we have waiting rooms set up. So you'll be able to manage, validate, and vet the individual signing in. So if there's a waiting room, they cannot join the actual conference that's being discussed in the background until someone allows them to leave that waiting room and then join the actual call room. So you can have an admin kind of making sure that there's no, there's nobody in there that shouldn't be. Another pro tip we have, know where you store your recording. It's usually in real time and vulnerable, so make sure it's protected in a spot that has a secure solution around it. So there's another topic we're going to discuss is IT overrun. So try not to deploy both bulk password resets right now, meaning so if you have a bunch of users out there right now who let's say their passwords are due this month to be renewed, try not to do that in bulk to all of the users, because it's just going to generate help desk tickets. It's going to bog down IT more is really the reasoning for that. When an employee is doing a password reset, do not loosen the policy. So if someone's having a challenge, that does not mean, okay, this person can't figure this out, let's just lower our password policy so this person can get their actual password. No, you're going to want to work with them to make sure that your policy stays the same, if not more secure. Cyber criminals are targeting everyone right now, and know that IT is overrun with moving employees remotely. It's prime time to plan for an attack, so which is so true right now. We've been seeing all kinds of creative ways that hackers are gathering personal information on people's personal workstations. So before, a lot of it was targeting businesses and gathering business information, which is very valuable. However, now they've turned it to a more personal, a personal attack to gather personal information, and then they basically gather all this data, put it in a crazy spreadsheet, and then sell it on the dark web for however much that stuff goes for this time.